Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. We're going to be looking through the Canon EOS RP, Canon's lightest full-frame mirrorless camera. So let's get started. We're going to start off with all the functions on the top of the camera. Initially, on the very top left, you'll notice you have the camera's on switch. Just on the other side of the hot shoe, we have our mode dial, which allows us to change our camera's mode from completely automatic through to scene modes, where we can select fireworks, we can select portraits, we can select low light, a whole bunch of easy to use functionality. Next, we've got the video mode. This here is the mode that you need to be in if you need to shoot in 4K. The other modes here, we have the custom functions mode C1, 2, and 3. And then going down further, we have bulb mode, manual mode, AV, TV, and FV mode. These are semi-automatic modes that allow you to control the camera's aperture or shutter speed, depending on which mode you've selected. Moving along, we have our red dot on the top of the camera here. This is our record button for video. Press to start recording and push again to stop recording. As I mentioned before, this back wheel here is your control wheel. You have two control wheels, one on the top which can be controlled by your index finger and one that can be controlled with your thumb wheel. Depending on which camera mode you're in will depend on if you're adjusting the aperture, the shutter speed, the ISO, or even exposure compensation. Next up along the top is the lock function. Pushing the lock up will enable the lock to lock in these control dials that you have on your camera. So if you would like to set in a specific shutter speed or aperture and don't want that to change throughout shooting, you can lock these dials so that you don't accidentally bump them when you're shooting. Pull it down to disable that lock functionality. On the very top here, we have the MFN button, which is your multifunction button. When using this, you have the ability to scroll through and select different modes. So on this particular setup, we have it set to dial function, so we can adjust our ISO. We can scroll across with our thumb wheel and adjust our frames per second if we want to shoot a single frame, high speed continuous burst, low speed continuous burst. We also have a 10-second, 2-second timer, and we have a custom timer if you wanted to adjust how long that timer will take before it initiates the shutter. Having a scroll through, we have the ability to change these modes. So we have one shot and AI servo. Also our white balance. Throughout the whole camera, we can adjust our white balance nice and quick, and we can even look at flash compensation. To use the shutter button, half press to focus and pull the trigger all the way to capture that frame. On the back of the screen, we're going to start from the top left and work our way across this. So first up, we have the menu button. This allows us to access all our menus to control our different shooting modes, our review modes, our camera's settings, and our custom functions, as well as a My menu that you can set up and customize this camera to the way you like to shoot. By using the information button in the menu system, we can toggle across the top options to go between all the main subjects, instead of having to go through each individual sub-menu. So when navigating the menu, use the Set button to access that particular menu and hit the Menu button to return back to the previous screen. Hitting the Play button will return back to your review screen, allowing you to see all the images you've captured. Notice that all the buttons that have blue are referring to everything that can be controlled or adjusted in the review menu. These buttons consist of the play button, the delete button, and also your magnify tool to zoom into your photo and to adjust that particular image. To scroll through your images, simply select left or right to go through those images. You can also swipe on the screen to scroll through the different photos you have from your memory card. The great thing with this camera is that it's completely touch screen active. So whether you're shooting or you're adjusting your menu, you have the ability to scroll through and adjust different modes at the touch of a finger. When reviewing your images, you can even pinch to zoom or swipe through. On the left-hand side of the camera, you'll find a range of ports that allow you to connect remotes or connect via USB or to a HDMI port as well. At the top left here, we have our remote. If you have a remote shutter, you can control your camera with this remote when you're doing long exposures or any landscape photography. On the bottom left here, you have your headphone jack and your microphone for video recording. On the right-hand side here, we have our HDMI port and a USB-C charging port as well. On the back of the camera, you'll also notice we have a diopter. So if you wear glasses, you can adjust the diopter through the viewfinder. And you also have a sensor to the right of the eyepiece. This will disable the LCD screen and allow you to see the image straight through the viewfinder. On the very bottom of the camera, you'll see two very important functions. You'll have your tripod mount, which you can attach a tripod directly to the camera, and you also have your battery compartment. The battery compartment is where we also house the SD card. This is your memory slot for all your images to save straight onto the card. Remember to insert and make sure your battery is fully charged. The final thing on the back of the camera is the flip screen. We have a 3-inch varied angle flip screen that is completely touch active. This means you can control the menu system, you can adjust your settings when shooting, you can even review your images by swiping through and pinching to zoom. The best feature of this is to be able to flip that screen around if you wanted to do a selfie, record a vlog while watching yourself, or to even when capturing images at a concert, be able to shoot above the crowd, or even get down to really low angles to be able to shoot unique perspectives. Keep this in mind when you're out there shooting and try to find that unique shot that you're always out for. With the latest Canon mirrorless camera, the EOS RP, you have a range of RF lenses that you can use at the ready. These are designed for the mirrorless camera, but if you prefer to use your EFS or EF lenses, you can use the mount adapter and attach that to your camera. So let me show you how to do that. It's as simple as holding your release button here, twisting the lens and removing the lens, lining up the red dot on the camera's mount as well as the adapter, clicking and turning until you hear the click. You've locked your lens adapter onto the camera and you're ready to mount your lens onto the adapter itself. Now this camera allows you to use all EFS and EF lenses. So you can have a 10 to 18 EFS lens onto this camera, or you can use an L series 85mm lens if you're wanting to do nice portraits. There's options are endless in terms of what lens you can put onto this camera. There's no restrictions in quality or in speed. You're getting everything that you would with the RF mount lens, with the versatility of having your existing EFS or EF lenses on this camera as well. So guys, that's the basic functions of the EOS RP. If you want to find out a little bit more and dive deeper into this camera and learn a little bit more about the features, check out the next video.